Hi students, this video is the online version of going over the syllabus that an instructor would do in the classroom. So imagine that I'm standing in front of you and telling you all about the syllabus. The syllabus is a good guideline to the class, has policies and important stuff for you to know, so I do hope and expect that you will familiarize yourself with it. Now, the syllabus is used in combination with your course room online. So put together, they are a good roadmap to the class. And you're going to find a lot more detail in the course room about details about your specific assignments and due dates. And there's also a lot of additional resources in the course room. So be sure to familiarize yourself with that as well, but do consider them a package deal that you need to familiarize yourself with both. So now we go through the syllabus point by point, component by component. At the top of your syllabus, you're going to find the name of the course and my name. I typically go by Kathy. And then all my contact information. I am really a lot more responsive to email than I am to phone. It's fine if you want to call me, but you'll probably get a faster answer if you email me. So my Beckfield email address is on there, but if you need to get a hold of me in a hurry, you might want to consider my personal email, Kathy@quintcareers.com, because I check that a little bit more frequently than I do the school email. And here we have the course description as it appears in the catalog, and I'll go ahead and read that for you just because I think it kind of sets the scene for the class. This course focuses on effective written and oral communication and critical thinking strategies. Topics covered will include workplace communication, letter and report writing, persuasive communication, creating executive summaries, analyzing and synthesizing data, and presentation skills. Communication in virtual environments also will be discussed. Then we have the list of learning objectives that's been set forth for this class, and these are going to appear again in two other places on the syllabus. One where we see the point breakdown, so you can see sort of general categories of assignments and which learning objectives fit those categories. And then you'll see them again with the individual weeks in the course outline, so you'll see which objectives we'll be focusing on in each week. This is the only required textbook for the class. Communicating for Results, A Guide for Business and the Professions by Cheryl Hamilton, 10th edition. You'll notice at the bottom of every page there is this disclaimer. The instructor reserves the right to make changes to the syllabus as needed. As a general philosophy, I really dislike making changes to the syllabus. I feel like the syllabus is kind of a contract with my students, so I don't like breaking that contract. But there are occasions and reasons to sometimes make changes. I will really try not to make anything radical or major. But it's possible that there could be a little tweak here and there. And if there is, it really will be to your advantage, I promise, because I only want to make changes if they're going to serve you. We now get into the part of the syllabus that's kind of standard for every course. This first section, methodology, may have been written specifically for this course, but most of the stuff in this section is material content that appears on every syllabus, or at least every syllabus in this department. But just for your information, the methodology, the method for this of study for this course will include any combination of lecture and discussions, problem solving, small groups, case studies, outside research, role playing, and video/audio presentations. And because this material is standard on all the syllabi, I'm going to go through it really quickly, but this is assessment criteria. This appears on every syllabus. It tells, what percentages you need to get what grade. I'm going to skip the attendance policy portion of the syllabus because the one I was given really pertains to classroom attendance, and there's not a specific online policy on there. So it really doesn't relate to you, so I'm just going to skip over it. Makeup policy. Because we are on such a short timeline with a 6-week class and the workload is very condensed, I am going to make a policy of being flexible with due dates. Um, there will be pretty wide freedom to make up assignments if you don't have them done on the due date. The only exception to that would be if I had to turn in a grade by a specific deadline, then you would obviously need to have done the assignment so that I could give you the grade by the deadline. So I'm going to try that pretty liberal makeup policy and see how that goes. And obviously I'm not going to change that in midstream, but if it doesn't work out in this class, I might change it the next time I teach. Again, this is another standard portion that appears on all syllabi about academic integrity. It has to do with cheating and plagiarism and so forth. So be sure you're familiar with that. Beckfield has a learning assistance program to help you if you need additional help with study skills and other skills related to succeeding in your classes, and all the information about that appears on your syllabus. Now we get into the material that is the instructor's own specific policies. This is a definition of plagiarism and the caution that it's important to cite all outside information using proper APA format. I've given you a couple of links that I really like for APA format, and I'm really kind of a stickler on that. We don't have very many assignments that call for APA citation style, but for the ones that we do, I really want you to do it correctly. So please look over those links and be sure you know what you're doing with those. It'll help you a lot if you go on to graduate school or do further academic work. And of course, if I do discover any plagiarism, which I am really not expecting, but if I do, you just won't get any credit for that assignment and you won't have the opportunity to redo them. Here are my other expectations. Complete assignments as directed and on time. Stay current with reading and writing assignments. Now you'll see all the due dates for assignments in the course room. And all of the assignments, with two exceptions, are due at the very end of the week in which they belong. And those two exceptions have to do with a mock interview, because I want to try to schedule individual mock interviews that we'll do via video conference. So obviously we couldn't do them all at 11:55 p.m. on the last moment of that week. So that's the one exception. And the other exception is a preparatory assignment that goes with the mock interview, and that is doing written responses to interview questions. So you're going to need to have done those before you do the mock interview. So just be aware of those due dates. And this particular term has a couple of funky weeks that run Wednesday to Saturday, and I am prepared to be flexible with discussion forum contributions. They're normally due on, the first post is normally due on Thursday by 11:55 p.m. But because they're actually, the second week that's like that is the very last week. The first and last weeks are strange configurations. But we don't have a discussion forum in the last week, so it really only applies to the first week. Ask me for assistance when needed. Read your course announcements. That will be important if we do have any changes or tweaks. And there may be some details that come up in things like assigning virtual team membership and so forth. Request assistance for any technical problems. Post at least one assignment each week to receive credit for attendance. And that's where that online attendance policy comes in, but it was not provided on the syllabus I was given. But do be aware that you have to post at least one thing every week to get credit for attendance in an online class. And also actively participate in the class discussions and activities. It's just going to be a much richer and more meaningful experience if everybody participates and gives it their all. You're not going to be able to read this section on the slide because it's too small, but I just wanted to show you what it looks like so you can find it on your own syllabus. And I have a little typo in my label over on the left. It should be method for evaluating students. And basically what this is a point breakdown. It shows you what the points are for each assignment and kind of the categories of assignments. And this is the other place on the syllabus, or one of the places on the syllabus where your learning objectives show up. The total number of points for the class is 700, so that can help you figure out your percentage. This section shows you how much time you need to be spending outside the classroom preparing your assignments, and it breaks it down by categories of assignments and also by kind of the objectives that go with those. So, this is a 6-week class, but you're still required to put in a minimum of 80 hours over the term. So it is very condensed, and I do understand that, but this section will show you how that all breaks down and kind of, what percentage of your grade each of these outside assignments comprises. And then finally we have the course outline section of the syllabus. This is the entire rest of the syllabus. I just showed 1 week here to show what it looks like, but it tells you, numbers the weeks, gives you the dates and times through which that week runs. It lists the assignments due at the very top, and then it lists your reading assignments underneath, and then it lists your weekly objectives. And here's where you're going to really want to refer to the course room, because the course room gives you a lot more detail and tells you a lot more about what's expected in your assignments and gives you your discussion forums and so forth. So do be sure to use those in combination. And once again, do use the course room online for much greater detail and many resources. Don't hesitate to ask questions or point out any problems you see with the syllabus. And there's my contact information again. And again, please enjoy the class. I hope you get a lot out of it. Thanks.